Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We're back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We have no guest today, so we're going to be free reigning it, and we've got a lot of questions from the Facebook group we're going to take, and then we're going to talk about some of our takeaways from the Chris Smith interview on Monday. And while we wait for people to jump on and hop on with us live, which we thank you for doing, make sure to hit subscribe on YouTube if you're watching the replay, and then if you want the audio version nestled between your ears, where we
Nestled so deep and good, man.
Nestled right in there, right between your ears.
Head
on over to iTunes or
Fits like
Stitcher.
a glove.
That's right. It fits like a glove. All right, Greg. Since you're butting in, you are the junior grandmaster himself. Greg, what's up today?
Yeah, Matt, good to see you, my young apprentice.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
If I'm your apprentice, what the hell am I supposed to be learning?
Lots of naturally. This is how this game works. It's called a game called winning. So, dude, I have a brand new Agents of Motion class, and we had our second class today, and we had a young gal named Rachel. She's like the most adventurous. Like, doesn't give a flying fuck about anything. She's like, you want to go skydiving, spelunking? Want to go stand in traffic? Sure. I'm like, good Lord, you sound fun. But I had this other dude, Jeremy. He came in. He's a Native American dude about my size. Super freaking cool dude. He is certified by the National Rifle Association. If I can talk anymore, in tactical indoor shooting. And he's like, you know, we were talking guns and everything before everyone got there. He's like, dude, I'll show you indoor tac, you know, for sure, man. And by the way, I had this brand new gun that's not even legal in California yet, but I'm negotiating a deal to get it in. And I'm brokering a deal with a place called City Arms, which I actually buy my guns from. They're like the nicest guys ever. Usually gun shops, like if you sell guns, like you have to be a dick to sell guns. It's like, license, you're a prick. Yeah, okay, that works. But they're super cool. But he's like, hey, I can't be in the video. Would you want to be the face of the new gun? My answer is like, fuck yeah, I do. Are you kidding me? Yes. Yay. Greatest day ever. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. Home defense. It goes hand in hand with real estate, Matt. First I sell you a house, then I show you how to tactically defend it.
Okay.
This is my value add upsell.
All right.
Not everybody can say that.
All right.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, was that the end of your rant? What was that? Was that it, or just the shout-outs?
Oh, no.
Okay. I knew that couldn't be it.
So we got this sick motherfucker that hit us up actually in a comment. And whoever you are, don't ever fucking comment on my page ever again, you sick son of a bitch. He has a foot fetish. And he texted and messaged me apparently, and I'm not friends with him, but he's asking me if the steel trap Eileen behind me, who I won't put on camera, and I really won't this time, if Eileen dangles her shoe off of her foot, and could he have a photo of it? I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you, man? Get out of your mom's basement, fucking weirdo. Yeah, there's all kinds, man. There are all kinds.
All right. Fun stuff. That is the power of social media and of giving out your cell phone to everybody on air.
For hundreds of times.
That's right. All right. Well, before we get into some questions here, I've got some good ones that we can take. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. So, number one, the cruise that Jamie Cox is putting together in December.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in cruising with us, we're going to be speaking. It's an Eastern Caribbean run on, I believe it's Royal Caribbean or Caribbean or however you want to say that. But reach out to us. We will put you in touch with Jamie Cox if you want the details. There's a link where you can go register for the exact cruise that we're going to be on, or you can just connect directly with Jamie Cox on Facebook and message him and just ask him for the link. But yes, December 4th, I think through the 11th. So it's the second week of December. It's a good time, so it doesn't interfere with any of the Thanksgiving or Christmas holidays. Falls right in between there. If you're in, shall we say, the northern climes, where December is an unpleasant month to be around, this is a great excuse to get away and get educated on real estate and get fired up and get some new ideas for going into the new year. So check.
And we'll actually we'll bring you guys on the podcast. So if Matt and I will do we're gonna do some live interviews. Hopefully I'll have my Mevo camera by then. If not, we'll just do some recordings and we'll get you guys on, meet, hang out, and then the best part about it, you get to drink with us.
That's right. In person, in the flesh.
In person, not even over a camera. Hey man, cheers.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's take our first question here. Okay. So CC Oliveira writes, who has the best tips on winning in constant bidding wars, which is something that you, Greg, have had to deal with in the illustrious East Bay area that you are located in. So what's your strategy for helping buyers when you're coming up against bidding wars for great listings?
Oh, so bidding wars for getting the listing or helping buyers buy the listing?
Helping buyers get listing, get the sale. Yeah.
Get the sale.
Yeah.
What I would probably
not close the deal on a listing. Yeah.
Okay. So the script that I use for buyers, if we're going against a multiple situation, number one, if they say they're going to have an offer date at, let's say Monday at 5, all right, you don't write the offer at Sunday and send it over so it's nestled nice and safe in there. No. You need to know, you want to be the last offer in. And this is when it comes down to building good relationships with the agents that are in the area and marketplace that you're working in. Because, if I was, the buy side, Matt was the listing side, and we had a good working relationship, I would call Matt up at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, knowing that the offers are due at 5. And I'd say, hey, Matt, it's Greg Drude. What's up, man? Hey, the property at 225 Oak Park Lane, how many offers you guys have in hand right now? And Matt would say, we have 4 in hand. I'm like, okay, do you see any more coming in? Well, we have about 3 other disclosure packets out. Okay. Matt, did you or anyone on your team or in your office write an offer yourselves? Yes, we did. Or no, we didn't. But I want to understand the climate of what we're writing against. Then I'll ask them, hey, Matt, I know it was listed at 825. So I don't waste your time I don't waste my client's time. Do you guys have anything that's either all cash or, significantly above that listing price? Then that depends on how you're going to go back to your clients. Because if 825 is their max and you got 4 other offers in there, and he says, yeah, we have someone in our office wrote one, and yeah, we do have something that is over the listing price. So then what I would go and I go back to my clients and say, okay, guys, we have 1 or 2 choices here. We can either try to buy this home, or we can just go buy it. Here's what I know. How do you want to move forward? You know what? They're going to lose 100% of what they don't try to go get. So if hey, you know what? Throw it against the wall. But if they're having, heart palpitations and, wet, sleep sweats because they're worried about the 825 price point, going above that's not going to do anything for them. So advise them to not go for it. But if they can afford it, and that's just kind of like their comfort zone, but they can go to 850, 875. I'd say, you know what, guys, decide as a team, how bad do you want the home? Well, gosh, Greg, we just love it. Okay, guys, then my recommendation would be this. Based upon my conversation, I would say we throw away an offer in at blank, like 850. Let's start at 25,000 over against 4 other offers. I don't think that probably won't get the job done. So you might have to go into a multiple counter situation at 875. And then I would do a call back to the agent and say, hey, look, we're going to throw you something that we think is pretty dang good. If we're just keep us in the running, I might be able to get them to go a couple bucks above that, but I would like to just see where it falls. Now, telling the other agent that you might be able to go a little bit higher, it does potentially allow that agent to push you to that level, but letting them know that that's not your drop dead price, that also can give you a multiple counter, which then you can push to the 875, 865, 8, whatever you and your team are going to make, you and your clients are going to make a decision on. Mm-hmm. And it's also going to depend on the climate of the marketplace. What are you guys seeing? So it could be 4 offers, right? But the market, chilled out, and you said, okay, look, I know it's 825. There's probably it's been on the market for 45 days. All of a sudden it went hot. Why don't we go $10,000 or $15,000 above the listing price and see what we can do? If we don't get it, then we don't get it. That's okay. If that's okay with you guys. And always let them make the final decision. You're the consultant. All you're doing is advising them on the temperature and how hot they need to be or how cool they need to be on their offer. So to answer the question, it is really what it is you need to go get the best possible intel from the listing agent that you possibly can, because then that will allow you to write the offer and submit the offer at the 11th hour. Come sliding in right at the last minute so you know exactly how many people you're writing against. Because if she said 4 at 4 o'clock and then I call her back at 4:45 and I say, do you guys get anything else in hand? Yeah, we had 2 more come in. Okay, no problem. We're going to get our offer over to you right now. Bam. Call back my client and say, all right, now they got a total of 6 in, guys. I think we got to go full tilt. If we want to get this thing, let's drop the hammer and make it happen. Are you guys good with that? Yeah, Greg, we're cool, man. All right, let's do 875, make it happen.
Okay, so that's most of that is dealing with the price. I mean, is that 90% of the game when it comes to a bidding war, or how much does writing a clean offer with good terms and good time frames and stuff, like how much does that factor in?
It's hugely important. I mean, instead of doing the 20% down, you do your 3% initial, because you never go past that. Your liquidated damages only covers that 3%, so you never want to expose your client above that. But instead of doing 20, maybe do 30, 35, 40% down. If you go higher on your initial down, your higher price, it's going to outweigh your appraisal issue, because you're putting more skin into the game. The banks be like, oh, this dude's putting in $150,000 or $225,000 initial down. Well, it's going to offset the appraisal issue, because you may run into an appraisal issue on that 875. You can also take the appraisal contingency out, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't get it, but because the bank's going to require one anyways. It's just saying that if it doesn't appraise, we all know that you have three options. You as the buyer and seller, once you get into there, you can accept, reject, or modify. So you can either, if it's 875 and it appraises for 865, well, you can come with additional $10,000, which you also need to verify that your buyer does have the liquid cash that they can do. So speak with the lender and verifying that. Second off, you just say, you know what? We're going to just take a price reduction down to that 865 if the sellers are willing to it, or you just do this to the buyers and you walk away, because that's the only options that you really have. When it comes to your time frames, you know what? Bring down your physical inspections to, let's say, 12 days or 10 days. If you have good working relationships with your inspectors, get them out there ASAP. We're blessed that we have a guy named Paul Mazzetta from Win Home Inspection, that, you know, they will move other appointments around from time to time to get us in, because we've worked with them for so long. Also, you shorten down your, I wouldn't recommend this because you're working with banks at this point, but your loan and appraisal timeframes. So if you've talked to the lender and they're ready to go, and you know this person can make things happen just like a drop of a hat, shorten down your loan appraisal, and shorten down. And I wouldn't shorten down your appraisal contingency, because that's a third party entity which you have no control over, which you actually physically can't talk to.
Whoever the bank hires to appraise the property.
Right, and you physically can't talk to them. So it makes it very difficult to light a fire under their rear end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take out things like, here in our area, it's standard that the seller would provide a home warranty. So don't ask for one, because you will do it. Maybe you'll pay for the 1 year home warranty. You'll pay for the transfer taxes. You just sweeten the pot so the seller's netting more out, and it's less of a pain in the ass on their side. That would be something that I would probably put in there.
All right, I like it. Very cool.
Well, thank you.
Well, let's give a couple of shout outs here real quick, and then we'll dive back into some content, and we'll get into what we liked about Christmas interviews. So real quick, just a quick thank you to Viral Marketing for helping to make podcasts and hangouts like these happen. You can check out what they do for Greg at gregsmarketingexamples.com. So not only we see like the East Bay real estate video blog that they run for him, the YouTube channel, and the emails they send out to his database to expose who out of his database is looking to make a move soon. That's the whole purpose of Viral Marketing, generate more repeat and referral business from your database. So go check them out, gregsmarketingexamples.com. Greg's got a video up there where he kind of explains a little bit more about it, and then you can request more information there on that page and find out about potentially working with them, which they're phenomenal, and you should go do that immediately. And then homing in, immediately after that, you should go download the Homing In app, because there may be free seller leads that are essentially waiting for you in your area from homeowners that have downloaded this free app themselves and are requesting home valuations from agents in the area, and there may not be agents in the area who've even downloaded the app. So there literally may be free seller leads in your area that you should go and look into that, because if you respond to them, they may have you come over for a listing consultation, because you may be the only one that's even responding to them through the app. So it's Homing In. It's available for iPhone and Android, and I believe their web version is also out. So no matter what your device, you can go there and you can download the app and get started and see if there's any requests for home valuations that are sitting out there waiting to be responded to in your area.
Yeah, it's free money, baby. Free money.
That's free leads from the sky.
From the sky, just rain down.
That's
rain
right.
down.
Just fresh leads raining down.
It's like little soft snowflakes just dropping down, landing on your nose. Bing.
That's right. Except they're made out of checks.
roll of quarters instead. God's like, here, bitch.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's right. Oh, man. Can I receive my next commission check in the form of rolled up quarters? All right. So, Greg, who do you want to shout out?
Oh, man.
We didn't get a chance to do this at all. I mean, Chris,
I know.
You and Chris, man, you guys took off like a bat out of hell. We didn't get a chance to talk about any sponsors. We didn't give any shout outs. Like, it was literally 59 minutes of nothing but content on sales and marketing. It was awesome.
Dude, that guy is such a pimp. That guy, I'm sitting there going, fuck, that is good shit. I'm like, give me another one, please. Okay, so here we go. Speedwise. All right, here we go. A. Anderson is a huge fan of us. That's on SF. So I don't know. I forgot. Special Forces. I don't know. But A. Anderson reached out. I believe that was on messages on Facebook. Then an Instagram message. It's the and risotto. I don't know what that means. And I might not be able to pull it apart. Loves the show, and we just gave that video that's the website back again. Ding! Hi, Matt. There we go. Get the photo. Okay. Ashley from Florida called us up. Super pumped. Bam! Ashley, cannot wait to talk to you. She took the McDaniel Challenge. It's going to be in August, like we are currently waiting for, guys. Michael Rezo, he had some questions. He loves the show. I hit him up. He answered me. I answered him. Guys, if you have any questions, follow me on Facebook because I am at my 5,000 friends. But, subscribe to me, follow me. You can send me Facebook messages, all of that stuff. I answer very quickly, as fast as I can with videos back to you or audio responses. This morning, I got a call from Sarah, not the Sarah we know and love from Canada, Matt. Another Sarah from Alberta. She and her husband are new in the business. Yeah. Did an emergency call with her. Going to get her set up. Super sweet girl. Lady, not girl. Sorry, lady. A young lady. Tom Miller. I did my McDaniel Challenge with him last night. What a freaking awesome opportunity to talk with a man that has a vision. He attended Jeff Cohn's event in December. Man has got his shit, screwed on just right, man. He's going to make a lot of money. And his entire millennial team has signed up for the McDaniel Challenge. How cool is that? Okay. So, Tom, wonderful to talk with you. Folger, thank you for reaching out with me on Facebook, man. I'm sorry you can't make the 16th. I'm doing a live panel again, guys, talking about social media. He's bummed he can't hear me talk. I told him to come listen to me here. I never stop talking, as poor Eileen is very aware of.
Boy, that's true. That's hilarious.
Melissa on Facebook, she hit me up with a question. Great question. I got back to her. I hope that video helped. Lewis, thank you for inviting me to the mastermind with Tom, you, Brian Casella. We're going to start masterminding every month, and it's going to be a blast. Mrs. Mercedes, I am so excited to chat with you. I'm glad you're back at your desk where you can watch us, take all of our goodness in, drink it in like your favorite beverage. Drink it in, let it nourish you. Nikki hit me up. She's one of our past MCC graduates. And dude, she was just a clusterfuck mindset. When she got on, she was all doom and gloom, like, duh, this sucks. Dude, she has turned around 180 degrees. She is absolutely crushing it. She's picking up her first listing here coming up in the next couple of days, just from what we talked about on our challenge. And again, fuck you to the fetish guy. Go away.
That's your final shout out. Is okay. All right.
Fuck you, fetish.
Okay. All right. So this is a really good question, and maybe a little bit too open-ended for a really nice, tidy little answer here. But Suzanne Rippey asked, I'm ready to start a team and looking for any advice you're willing to share. What makes a great team, best structure, and pitfalls to avoid, etc. So just real quick, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole on this because I want to answer some other questions and talk about the Chris Smith interview. But just in general, like, Greg, what would you recommend? Like, what's the first baby steps into even starting a team for someone like that that's coming as a solo agent?
We need to identify and figure out what kind of team structure do you want? Do you want to have you with a bunch of assistants and maybe showing agents that, you know, all these showing agents do is they're door monkeys, basically. You pay them a certain fee and they go open the doors, then they come back to you, your assistants write the contracts, you negotiate the contracts. There's a guy in Southern California that I walk in, he's in his $3,000 suit, he's on his knees in his office, probably 15 to 20 contracts around him. The desk is there, but it just is covered in contracts. His office doesn't have any ceiling, so he's yelling at his other 4 assistants to get him things about the different contracts. So you can have that. I mean, that guy's like slow down, like vacation mode is most people's like 100% go time mode. It's crazy. So you can have that kind of a structure, or you can come on and you have segregated buyer's agents and seller's agents, which I truly am not a fan of, because if I'm a buyer's agent on someone's team and then grandma calls for them to list their house and I tell them they can't do it, well, how fast do you think they're going to leave? Whoop, there it goes. Yep, the door just closed. They just left. So you can do that. There's different models for different marketplaces. I would truly just look at what you're really, really good at and then focus in on that. I am not good at managing people at all. I mean, if you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, I can't help you. You're already a lost disaster. See, Eileen, I didn't even cuss on that one. I just got a back pat from Eileen. HR Eileen behind me. That's her name.
Was she wearing shoes while she patted you on the back?
Was her shoe getting off of her foot? And was there a camera available to take the photo? But when you start your team, when you first start out, work until you're at your breaking point, then bring on your first assistant. You know, make sure that they're good, an S and a C, most likely personality, and they don't want to go out and become an agent full-time and take over your position. Then after they're offloaded a lot of the work there, then bring in maybe an internal sales agent, ISA, like Chuck is for our team, that will then take over the outbound prospecting, follow-up, you know, that kind of a stuff. So they'll free you up just to go do meetings. At that point, if you want to bring in, you know, maybe a partner or maybe another agent or two on your team to work specific marketplaces, I mean, there's literally 1,000 different ways to skin this cat. The number one thing you need to do is evaluate your time and what you want to be doing. If you want to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off and you like the craziness, okay, we need to, you know, sedate you and put you in a padded room, but that's okay. But if you want to be, you know, incredibly effective, you know, like Jeff is, or, you know, Jeff Cohn and, you know, a couple of Tom Miller and these other guys, my suggestion would be this: find the best possible lead generation system you can at the lowest possible cost, create a ton of quality leads on buyers and sellers, and start doling them out to quality agents. Basically, you're like the crack dealer on the sidewalk. You get the first taste for free, then you just keep giving this shit out. Eventually, you're like, why don't you just join my team? I'll up your split on this, you know, from a 25%. I'll give you, you know, 50-50 or 65, you know, whatever. Just get them in, because if you can give agents, you know, again, we're agents, we get easily bribed, food, booze, free leads. Pretty good. That's a good way to build a long-lasting team there. But what I would say there, when you make a team, you hire fast and you fire even faster. You get one bad apple in that bunch, it's going to start rotting your team from the inside out. We had a guy like that was on our team. He was a bad apple. We fired that motherfucker like that. Cost us $800. He's like a hooker. You had to pay him to leave. But Eileen's like, that's over the line. No, we talked about this. Protocols, McDaniel. Protocols. Guidelines. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Pay him to leave. All right.
Pay him to leave. You know,
hire fast and fire faster.
No, I'm deadly serious. If they aren't working out, I had this dipshit that came onto our team. This fool on the job with us for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, mind you. Hadn't even done a deal. Didn't even have a client. He'd been door knocking. I'd taught him everything how to do door knocking. He walks in. We've talked about this on air before. Walks in deadpan serious and goes, "So Greg, I'm really serious, man. I mean, I'm an attorney, and this is how it needs to be. And I just have to be partner. I have to be partner now." I'm like, get the fuck out. You're a clown, dude. You should be wearing a red nose. You're such a fool. God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That is a lack of self-awareness and business awareness and maybe general IQ.
General IQ. I mean, might be book smart, but damn, he ain't street smart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, basically I agree with everything that you just said. I couldn't really put that part of it much better. I mean, you basically took the words right out of my mouth as far as figuring out the structure first. I would submit this. In addition to, yes,
a revision. A revision.
Yes, and. No. So in terms of figuring out like what model you want to go with, there are two thoughts on that. So number one, the model that is out there, the predominant model, the KW model that you find in Millionaire Real Estate and all this other stuff, that is not the only model out there that works for your personality. Number one. So for example, we're going to have two people on the show in the next, I don't know, month or so that tried that model and found something else completely different that is more suited to their personality, a different structure that allowed them to be who they are and make a lot of money within the team structure without being like the CEO and withdrawing from production and kind of sucking the life out of what they liked about the real estate business. So it really, depends on what you like about real estate, and depends on your personality and stuff like that. So, and the other part of that I would suggest is if you know some people in the business that have teams, get on a phone call, ask if you can interview them and just pick their brain about what it's like to run their team and what their team structure is like. I mean, besides listening to podcasts and stuff like that, you can get some of that information, but they're more than happy to get on a 15-minute or a 30-minute call to answer questions from someone who genuinely just has done some research but has some very specific questions about team structure and how to make it work and what kind of personality type you have to have for the different team models that are out there, because that is something that I don't see covered a lot. I see everybody that has a team or a team structure basically says this is the right team structure. Well, when you've got everybody that has that opinion, they all can't be right? And they're all not right for you. So there's nothing wrong with going out and interviewing other people and figuring out what are the team structures that are out there, and then you just got to forge ahead with what you think is going to work best for you. Like we've talked about it before, Greg. Like, I mean, Jeff Cohn has 25 pushing 30 agents. I don't want 30 people under me. Like, I'm happiest with 2 or 3 high-level, busy people around me. I want to keep, no matter how much money I have, I'm always going to be busy to a certain extent. I want a small, dedicated staff around me. That's the team structure that I want. You're the same way.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if I want to grow a huge team. I mean, I might, but I would need to have someone that would manage the agents on a day-to-day basis. Exactly. That's good, has good managerial skills.
Managing the agents.
Right. So the pod structure that I've envisioned for a long time is a regional pod structure. So this is your 5,000 homes pods or 10,000 home pod that you live in. Now there would be 5 agents per pod. 2 dedicated listing, 2 dedicated buyers, 1 roamer that can kind of like the senior in that pod. You would have 1 admin for every pod as well, and they would live in these pods. That's where their job, that's where they live and do their business. So, Matt, if you're in one pod and I'm in another, well, then you and I had a business filing. See you Monday. Is it Thursday?
It's only Wednesday.
That's right. That's right. We're leaving for New York, of course. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. That's true.
And then have a master admin that runs the admin. Okay. And if you're the king, if you're the ones that started this, then you're on the top level, right? You're doing like next generation stuff to bring back more lead generation, bring back more value, bring back more education to the people that are working in there. But if you're in one pod and I was in the other, I would send you, or you would send me a 25% referral fee for working that client. And you just keep on moving, because it would be like an interconnected, network within your team.
Yeah, and that's something we've talked about before. Both of us actually may move in that direction of establishing like pod type teams, either NorCal or SoCal or whatever the case is, because that structure will work, and that's better suited for you and our personality versus doing a Jeff Cohn style 30, 40, 50 and on to the stars type of arrangement.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. I was talking to Chuck the other day, dude, and he's like, Greg, would you please open up an office out here in Chicago, man? I would work for you in a heartbeat. And I know a couple of other guys, I'm not going to say their names on air,
right?
That would leave their brokerages and work for you, because we had to get your training, we'd have access to this, and, you're honest, you're trustworthy in the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, dude, I'm in Huckleberry. So that brings something up, guys. If you're in your area, anywhere in the country, we talked about they're starting to have pop-up groups of meetups for the Real Estate Uncensored fan base. If you guys want to have a pop-up, a meetup group in your area, let us know. We will put a banner together. You guys can build a Facebook page. We'll do special stuff for you guys. Matt and I will travel out to your areas and meet up with you guys if you get enough people together, enough advance notice. So let us know. We have active Chicago and Denver are active right now.
Yep.
But Matt, I got hit. I forgot to do this shout out, man. I got to do this shout out. It's too damn funny not to get out there. So Philip hit me up, dude. We're scheduled for the July 2nd call. He's super pumped. And I'm super, Philip, I'm super pumped to talk to you too, man. But he wrote me like a novel here a second ago. But he wanted to reach out to you and Matt. And this is the hashtag. Okay. This is a long one. Hashtag, if Matt doesn't get his coffee today, then Greg is fucking... Then Greg is fucked because Matt is grumpy.
That was the hashtag.
That was the hashtag.
That's awesome.
And I haven't read it all the way through, but that's an amazing hashtag. If Matt doesn't get his coffee, Greg's fucked because Matt's going to be grumpy. Hashtag.
That's hilarious. I like it. I like it.
It's true.
Speaking of my anti-grumpy medication, there we go. That's why I'm so cheerful today.
You'll bop them back and forth. Yay.
That's right.
They feel good going down.
That's right. All right. So let's get into the Chris Smith interview a little bit, and let's sum up. I'm curious, kind of what you pulled out of it. Obviously, there was a ton of stuff. I gave my 2 cents on it, and I can quickly run down the few things that jumped out to me, and then I'm curious what jumped out to you, Greg. So. Okay, so here are the things that jumped out. God, you tabbed me in a bunch of stuff, and now I can't find my post. Okay, so number 1. My top 5 things I took away from the interview were, number 1, old school not only works, but it's getting more effective. We've talked about this before, blending the high tech with high touch. I love it. It's and he kind of confirmed that you've always been on the right track, Greg, with that. And that comes from your dad, and your dad is very, very smart and understands how to build relationships with people. And I think it's nice to see other people in real estate that share that same view, right?
It really is, man, because everyone gets kind of caught up on either I have to do high tech or I have to do old school. It's like, why? I mean, we've talked about how to go door knocking with video. Now that Matt and I gotta admit something to you. I gotta admit it. I think I'm becoming addicted.
To what? Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's I can feel it.
It's happening.
I can feel it. Guys, follow me on Snapchat, REU444. And you'll see all the snaps behind the scenes. What does Greg do in a day? Matt does the same thing. What's your snap, Matt?
Pursuing results, as is my Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, look at y'all consistent and shit.
That's right.
Number 1.
All right.
With Doyle rules.
Yeah, so we're playing around with the idea for doing a little Snapchat Snap Fridays, Snap Day Friday or whatever. So for the hour after the show, you can snap us your questions, and we will snap our answers back to you via video.
Just like this.
That's right. Sure, why not? It'll be like a flam. Yeah, there we go. All right. So anyway, number 2 thing I took away from the Chris Smith interview was do things that don't scale. So there was a really great quote. He says, social media is vastly underutilized for one-to-one communication. And that really hit home because it's so easy to get distracted by trying to attract followers and friends, and they end up being like these nameless, faceless things. We're just looking at the numbers of responses to our posts and the number of views on our videos and stuff like that, and I think we lose sight of how we could be using Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other things to just connect with people individually, one-on-one. Personalized messages, direct messages, and Chris brought up the idea of recording a video and posting it straight to someone's wall. So I took that to heart. Frank Klezis, the CEO of Viral Marketing, who's been a great friend and a mentor to me. His birthday is today. If you were listening to this tomorrow, you are too late to copy my idea because I recorded a happy birthday video and I posted it on his wall instead of posting like a text or instead of posting like a picture of a birthday cake or whatever that most people do. And that's the example that Chris Smith gave. So it was a great idea. I love that idea, and I'm surprised that I do tend to think of things a little bit more personally, but even I hadn't thought of that yet. And so if you struggle with that, that's a great reason to go back and listen to that interview. Is Chris gave some examples of like how to use social media to actually build relationships one-on-one with people rather than just as a way to blast out status updates.
Yeah, 100%. And a little caveat on that. I was messing around. I have lots and lots of birthdays. I'm blessed to wish a lot of people birthday every day. And I was trying to figure out how to send a video directly to them. But there is no way. I mean, you can send photos, you can send stuff like that. You can write them a happy birthday, but there's no way to do a direct video directly into their message without actually typing in their name. So, I mean, if you kind of know them, take the time. But if they are a close friend, definitely take the time and go post a video to their page. I did it for my dad. Huge response, and I would highly recommend this for anyone that you truly do know. They can see your face and they know your voice.
Yeah, I've seen that video and it was really cool. You're able to say, you're able to convey more emotion. You know, it's much more touching, not just for the person on the receiving end, but just people that are watching and observing. Just to hear the things that you have to say about your dad are really cool. It's cool to see because I have that same type of relationship with my dad.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it. You know, actually, you inspired me. I'm going to go. I already wrote Frank a happy birthday, but I'm going to send him a video now. You've inspired me, Matt.
Nice.
Once again.
Good. All right. So number 3 thing I took away was every lead is an internet lead, and look at your online presence and ask yourself, would you hire you based on just what you see online? He talks about like looking at the content that you're putting out, the quality of the website, your landing pages. Do you have ratings, reviews, success stories, case studies online, yada yada. So that's I talked about this a little bit more on the Facebook Live today, so I won't rehash that stuff. But I mean, Greg, you have, like you pointed out before, you were on a prospecting call and you were following up or something, and you're like, oh yeah, just look me up on YouTube, and they're like, oh yeah, I did. You're all over the place.
Yeah, I actually had a which got me out of trouble with the law. Johnny Law came in knocking. Wow. Yeah, no shit, dude. So I get a call from a sergeant over in the Lafayette Police Department, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a call from a lady, and she got a call from you, and her elderly mother, you know, lives there alone, and she's freaked out that you'd just be randomly calling." And I'm like, fuck that, dude. I am not in the business of scaring people. So I followed up with that officer for probably a week and a half until I was able to get him. And he's like, "Oh man, that's cool. You're totally fine. You're legit. I checked you out. I watched your videos. You're real." I'm like, once again, video vindicates.
Yes, it does. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hiding in the bushes, you know, watching people go by in cars at a listing, don't post that video. You know, the officer's going to watch that one and be like, cat burglar, 123 Main Street, go get them, guys.
Okay, you heard it from Greg first. If you are taking video of people passing by from the bushes of your listing, do not post that video. Helpful and useful advice as always, Greg.
The G.I. Joe saying, Matt, knowing is half the battle. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you know.
Knowledge is power. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So number 4 thing I took from Chris Smith's interview was openness, and he gave the example of we see it all the time on Facebook and other social media networks. You've got like people have the tribes that they run in, and they're all preaching to the choir, right? The question to ask yourself is, are you open to learning from people that are different from you? And that really hit home because in certain areas I'm not open to learning from people that are different than me. Now in real estate I don't quite have that, in real estate or business, I don't consider myself all that smart, so I haven't, I don't really have an issue learning from people that are, from anybody, really. There's something I can pick up from anybody. But I do have a little bit of that when it comes to politics and religion, and that was like, yeah, yeah. So I have to catch myself sometimes to be more open, and I stay out of religious and political debates on Facebook for exactly that reason, because my views are hard to explain in anything less than a page, and sometimes it depends on what it is, but you know what I mean. I don't agree with everybody on pretty much anything, and so rather than get involved, I kind of stay out of the fray, so to speak. But it is something good to ask yourself is, if you're riding in an Uber from your house to the airport, are you interested in that cab driver's background? Do you talk to people when you're out and about? Are you genuinely curious? Do you have that mentality of, I can learn something from everybody that I meet, even if it's what not to do and what not to wear and what not to act like?
Yes,
and
very,
Greg,
very true.
I learned so many things from you, like what not to say and what not to dress.
Oh, you're good, you young Padawan, you. Yes. So my father, when he goes out and about, every single waiter or waitress that he comes across, this is his line. He'll be like, "Well, hi, what's your name?" "I'm Becky." "Well, hey, Becky, how you doing? So tell me, what are you doing with all that money you're making?" And I'm like, "Dad, shut the fuck up." That's kind of almost a slap in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "Just trying to get through school." He's like, "You know what? I think you'd be great in real estate." And then, I mean, that's an icebreaker, but he would genuinely goes out and starts conversations with anybody. If we can't find him, just look for the stranger somewhere around. You'll be sitting over there chatting him up, hanging out, getting to know him, and that's a very important thing. I have two folks that are actually in my new AIM class, Jeremy and Rachel. Dude, these two are fearless, man. They love to be uncomfortable, so I'm learning from them how to just break the ice. I mean, just go out and talk to somebody. It's amazing what you don't know that other person has to offer. You could be kindred spirits and you don't even know it because you think that they're irrelevant to your life because that's your default, setting mentally. The other thing is, let's say, Matt, religion or politics. Let's say we take up politics really quickly. And what I've found is that be constantly in a state of curiosity on something you're unaware of, and go out and try to destroy your current point of view by understanding and learning everything on their point of view, so that once you have another debate or a conversation with someone about that certain subject matter, you can actually go out and debate them logically with real intelligence versus just going off on emotion. We have nothing to fucking say. I mean, I saw a bunch of guys being interviewed by Donald Trump supporters, and they were going and they were talking to Hillary Clinton supporters. And if you guys are watching this down the road, those are two presidential candidates. We don't know which one's going to win. But the guys who are attacking Trump, when they asked them, "Hey, explain one thing that's not true. Explain one thing that that's not right." Now, I'm not supporting Trump. Don't get me wrong. My point of this whole thing is that the guys that they were interviewing couldn't come up with one logical thought on why they didn't support Trump. And I was like, I thought that very interesting. I'm like, imagine if those guys could articulately respond to the people asking the question and bust open what the original questioner was saying with logic, because they tried to kill it. They try to make yourself convinced of the other side is true.
Yeah, playing devil's advocate with yourself. I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And really just being, I think when it comes down to like politics and religion and things like that, it goes back to what Chris said about openness. Are you open? Most of us are not open. I try to be, and when it comes to religion, I'm probably more open, because in the end I want the truth. And if the truth happens to be something that's different from what I believe, which has happened, like my beliefs have evolved over the years. Mm-hmm. I'm not married to my beliefs because they're not part of my identity. My identity is that I want the truth. And therefore, I'm able to adjust as I go along. And if you bring that over into, the marketing or business world or whatever, I was actually listening to a podcast with, it's Jordan Harbinger, The Art of Charm. He was interviewing Ryan Holiday. If you remember that guy, he was kind of the wonderkind marketing guy for American Apparel, and he's written 3 books, like the Obstacle is the Way, and then he's got a new book out called Ego is the Enemy. And he was talking about how it's so important for us to not rest our identity on any one thing that works out in business, because that will change or fail at some point. It's only a matter of time. And then if your identity is all wrapped up in that, what happens is you get a massive ego hit and massive identity crisis when things go wrong in your business, when your identity shouldn't rest on that to begin with. So rest your identity on as little as possible, and preferably the stuff that doesn't change.
Right, and that being a seeker of truth, Matt, then if let's say you got in the business back when my father was in we're in the business where there was no internet, there was no cell phones, there was nothing that we have to do today. We would never be able to communicate like this back in the day. Okay, and you know what? If you just said, I'm only going to do old school ways to people that communicate in this realm. So if you're trying to send postcards to people that only communicate on Snapchat and on mobile devices, you're going to become a dinosaur very quickly. So being a seeker of truth is going out and find the truth about what is adapting and changing in your business, in your marketing, in your prospecting, in your life, in whatever, and constantly say, okay, this is the new truth. Like you said, your opinions have changed because you've changed as a person. You have different experiences. So is everybody else in life. So just because someone's doing something or saying something, go find the truth, hunt it down like a bloodhound, and sniff it out. Because once you get it, then what's the worst case scenario is you become smarter. And if someone comes at you verbally accosting you or slandering you in some way, shape, or form because of something that they believe that you believe in, you can come back to them logically, calmly, and confidently saying, look, sir, ma'am, dipshit, you're not right.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Yes, but it won't be based on emotion. It'll be based
Emotion.
on reason, because you yourself have come to that point through reason, which is always better. Yeah.
One of the best negotiating tactics, guys. I have a negotiating rules pinned up on my wall here. It's number 6. It stands for, it means be dispassionate. If you can logically attack things and do things, this is listing appointments, this is talking buyers off of a cliff, this is prospecting, this is when I'm doing cold calls and someone irately answers the phone. I had this one lady, dude. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of F-bombs here, but she gets on the phone, and she's just like, fuck you, you motherfucker. All you fucking do is try to take things, and I hate you, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And she kept going, right? Okay. And I just paused. I got a little riled up for a second. Then I'm like, anger? And I just responded to her, ma'am, I'm just really, really sorry that I'm not there to give you a hug. And she's like, fuck you, click.
Wait, I thought it was going to be a warm, fuzzy end to that story. Like she broke down crying and ended up you sent her flowers and
Nope.
You went out for coffee later. I don't know.
Nope.
It just helped you.
I stayed just passionate.
Yes, you did.
And I just told her I wanted to give her a hug because she's having a bad day. I don't think she wants a hug, though.
That's hilarious. No, she did not want a hug from you.
I'm a good hugger, though.
Yes, I like that, though. Be dispassionate. All right. So the fifth and final thing that I got out of the Chris Smith interview was educate your prospects so they get value even if they don't work from you. Greg, you are both the podcast here in terms of what we do for real estate agents is a great example of that, where we attempt to out-educate and out-usefulness any other competing coach, or, well, they're not really competing because we're not offering coaching, but you know what I'm saying. Like anybody else that puts out real estate educational content, we are trying to out-educate. I mean, we're basically want to take our best stuff and give it away for free, if we as much or close to free as we possibly humanly can, because we want the information to get out there, and we want people to come away, even if money never exchanges hands, which in the vast majority of people's cases may probably be the case, everyone that's within the sound of our voice or the vision of our beautiful faces may never exchange money for the distinct pleasure of getting our content, and that's okay. We want them to come away with value, whether they ever work with us in any way.
Matt, I cannot tell you how important that is. Why do I take 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours every single night, 4 nights a week, booked all the way out into mid-August now, to go talk to an agent or someone, that I'll never probably meet. Unfortunately, I'd love to meet all you guys. I think it'd be awesome. But you know what? It's because I've had countless people come back to me. They reach out to me voluntarily, like Nikki did today, and say, Greg, thank you so much for what we talked about and what we went over. Because we talked and that what we put into plan, I am now making money. I am now still in the business. I am on track. I just had a gal re-up for round 2 with me. I'm like, sure, you're in mid-August. She's like, I'm like, snooze you lose. I don't know what to do. Oh, no.
Panic.
And she, like, red alerts were flying off, like, bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, and she's like, if anything changes, please let me know. I'm like, okay, I have no problem with that. I mean, I'll keep you in the loop for shizzle. Yeah. But I mean, I am beyond blessed. I know Matt is beyond blessed as well to hear these stories, interact with you guys, help you achieve your dreams, goals, the destiny that you're searching after. And that's why Matt and I do it. We just want to make you guys better. We've been in unique situations for the first part of our lives where we've gained all this useless knowledge in our minds, and then we're like, what are we gonna do with all this good stuff? Let's give it back. Man, I have a friend of mine that says, Greg, you gotta charge. I'm like, no. I am never, ever gonna charge for this. Okay, not for my McDaniel challenges, because with that makes you a better agent. And if I ever have the opportunity to do a deal with you, I'll know that you're better off, so that we can go, make this deal smooth. It's those small things. That's a distinguishing difference. That's the mark of a true leader, is someone that's willing to learn and willing to open themselves up. Like my buddy Jose out of Long Beach, dude, he was a little gruff when we got on the phone the first time. He's like, yeah, man, look, I don't ever open myself up like this, okay? So this is like new. So I don't open myself up like this. And I'm like, okay, I got it. We can talk about whatever you want. But now he and I talk all the time. Dude, his business is flourishing. Now, I'm definitely not saying it's all because of me, but it was an opportunity for him to become a little bit vulnerable for a minute. We were able to have some ideas. We swapped some awesome, technology, tips and everything else. And now we're communicating all the time. You know, so who can you do that for? Who's in your market? You know, who do you see struggling? Why don't you take them out to coffee, give them a couple of tips, because they're never going to do it the same way you do it. And even if they do, they probably don't run the same sphere of influence as you do. Even if they run the same sphere of influence and they do exactly what you say to do, guys, there's a personality difference between the two of you. People are going to like you or like that other person one way or the other. You're never going to cut your own throat on business. You just won't. You'll just make the industry better. So please, you know what? I challenge you. This is a challenge. Everyone's hearing my voice, and then you're like, huh, I know this person that I could help out. I double dog dare you to go sit down with coffee with them, send me a picture of you guys at coffee, and just let me know that you're out there helping the world, making agents better, and just because you have a specific skill set that they may be able to use. That is the challenge I'm putting on the table to you.
I like it. I like it. You know what would be a great venue to shoot those pictures over to you?
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, that'll work. Or Snapchat. I was going to say Snapchat REU444.
Yeah, you can snap it over to me. Facebook Messenger will stay there. Then I can take that and then post it up on our REU Facebook page and give you a shout out for doing something solid for another agent. So we want to give you guys we want to recognize the good people giving back in this industry. So there it is. I challenge. Go.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's I think that's going to draw it pretty much to a close.
No. I got a great marketing
idea. The content. Just hang on. Just hang on. Goodness, we're not shutting the recording down right this second. I just mean that let's move on from the bullet points from the Chris Smith interview and get into some other stuff. So
my cold sweats can stop now.
Good Lord.
Well, it's a good idea I heard today on a podcast.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So just a quick reminder, number one, go check out gregsmarketingexamples.com. So we're talking about out-educating. So if you struggle with kind of coming up with content, I feel like that's what holds a lot of people back in terms of, like, what do I put on Facebook? Like, how do I follow up with people? I don't know where to get ideas for what to put on Facebook or what to put on my blog or what to do videos on. Just go look at what Greg's doing. Go to gregsmarketingexamples.com, and then he will explain what's being done, and it's a really good place where you can go and get more ideas. Just watch what Greg's doing on his videos and on his Facebook Lives. Follow him on Facebook, and it'll give you some good insight into how that you can, just some things that you can copy and imitate and model in how you do it. And then, like I said, go download the Homing In app, and there may be seller leads that are already waiting for you there, depending on your area. So you should go do those two things right now. So what was it that you wanted to finish out with, Greg, before we wrap things up for real?
I was listening I was listening to Toby Salgado's podcast, Super Agents Live, this morning. If you guys are listening to him or you haven't started listening, go download Super Agents Live. Go to episode 251. Then it's a gal out of Canada, and it's an amazingly awesome episode. It's titled Drive Traffic and Get Seller Leads. Guys, this woman came out of the marketing side, and what she does is she has tons and tons and tons of white papers that people can go download on things like how to buy a home as a young couple, how to buy a home as an investor, how to buy a home with a child, how to buy a home with a dog, process of selling a home, process of buying a home. She has all these different little micro hyper-local content white pages that you can go download, which I thought was really genius to do. And she was telling a story about a guy that I can't remember his name. He's out of Arizona. The guy just does like $200 million in volume every single year and more. And this guy only spends like $75,000 on marketing. Matt, one of the most ingenious things I came in and told Eileen I wanted to do it today is that one of the things that he does, he basically, he's like a rental facility on certain things, but they're fun things. So, like a slushy machine or a margarita machine, one of those things. He bought one, and he puts ads out for people to come rent it for free. So nice. He keeps it at the office so that when people come in, now the law of reciprocity kicks in, because it's like, hey, here are the instructions. Here's the machine. Give me a deposit check. It's yours. Bring it back. And go from there. But now they know you, they know where you work, and they're gonna talk about like, oh, where'd you get the slushy machine? Oh, the McDaniel Callahan team gave it to us. Oh my God, how much? No, zero, man. He just gave it to us. No shit.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. So it was very enlightening. I'm not all the way through the podcast yet, but very good content.
Very cool.
Now you can shut down the podcast.
All right. All right. Well, with that being said, me and Greg will be in New York. I don't know if you want to tell them where we will be, Greg.
We are going to be hanging out with Mr. Aaron Wittenstein. We are going to be finalizing a deal that is going to revolutionize a aspect of our industry. And it's going to be something that you guys are going to be able to use incredibly affordably, and you're going to get ridiculous value out of it. And so Matt and I are going to be shooting live together on a couch. We're going to have our, now, that sounded weird. We're going to be sitting in one frame, and we're each going to have our mics, and we're going to be, hope you guys are going to be able to be there so that you guys can interact with us. And yes, Matt and I are going to be in the same room. Unbelievable. Matt has to put up with me for like 72 hours. I feel bad.
As do I. All right. So that'll be Friday, but more specifically in that we will be interviewing Marguerite Crispillo, who's a successful agent, very successful agent, successful coach, veteran of the business, and she'll be sharing kind of her story and some of the things that she teaches her clients, and she has a really good coaching practice, and I'm interested to see kind of what she helps her coaching clients to do, what she specializes at helping them. And so we'll talk with her about that. That's Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific. We, however, will be on Eastern time. So it'll be, what, 2 o'clock for us? Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
So,
no,
yeah,
1 o'clock.
Exactly.
1 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Potato,
3 hours.
potato.
Yeah.
All
right.
right.
So until then, that's when we will see you the next time.
McDaniel
Challenge. Yep. Go ahead.
Golly, trying to cut me off right and left here, man. Don't know where things are going. McDaniel Challenge, guys, get on it. I'm booked out until August 10th, guys. August 10th is my new date. It's an hour and a half to 2 hour, coaching call that you and I are going to do together. It's going to, whatever's stopping you, making you stop in your business, mindset, prospecting, whatever it is, we're going to walk through it together. We'll pop out the back end with a resolution of sorts. It's very casual. It's 100% free. There are no strings attached. And Matt, good question. How did they get a hold of me? I'm so glad you asked.
I did ask. Thank you.
I did ask, Dick. Best number for me, guys, is going to be my cell phone, handy dandy cell phone over here. The number is 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. If you're soaking yourself in a nice fluffy bubble bath or out for a run or something and you cannot remember that number, go to McDanielChallenge.com and we can get you scheduled up there. Send me a message on, don't send me a Snapchat on that because that shit goes away too quickly. Facebook message, Facebook, a text, a call, an email, whatever, guys, get a hold of me. I want to meet you. If you think you're on the fence, you don't know if you're the right person for it, you're the perfect fucking person for it. Let's do this. Let's help you become what you want to become.
All right. Very cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be some badass shit. Hold on one second. I got to go back to today. Tom Miller, and then, yeah, okay, we're good. We got everyone covered.
All right, awesome.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, I talked to Mike on Monday. He was awesome.
Okay, good deal. All right, guys, until Friday, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. If you like the show and you want to do us a favor and just looking for a way to help us out and give back, for us giving out the content, just go leave us a rating on iTunes. It's a great way to help people find it. We really appreciate it. We grow by word of mouth. We don't do any advertising. As you can see, we're not flooding the airwaves or Facebook or anything like that with a bunch of ads for us. So we grow because you guys tell your friends in the business or your brokers and other agents in your office about the show, which we really appreciate. And if you want to have us come do something at your brokerage, we are going to be traveling a little bit this year. We'll be, especially in September, we'll be doing like the California Association of Realtors in California, and then September we'll be in South Carolina doing real estate. Real Estate Success Rocks Conference. So if anybody is in those areas, Long Beach or South Carolina, you're going to be near either of those two conferences in September, just hit us up, introduce us to your broker if you want us to have, kind of like come speak in your brokerage office, kind of tie that in with the event that we'll be at anyway. That'd be great. So just hit us up, introduce us to your broker, and we can take it from there.
One last thing, guys. If you guys want to see Matt Julie and his 3 obese babies, go take a look at our Facebook page. You'll see a glorious photo of Matt and his obese children.
That's right. And with that, let's tie a nice little bow on this one.
All right. We're out of here, guys. We love you.
All right. Take care, guys.